Okay, I'll quickly review the agenda. We'll have previous minutes, students and school presentations, parent groups. We'll have open to the public, 3 minutes per speaker for no longer than 60 minutes in total. We'll have the superintendent's report. We'll have correspondence and board comments. We'll have the personnel agenda, which has a couple of changes. We have an addendum. As we have addendum 14. Copies are out there for them. Yes. Okay, so addendum 14, as well as addendum. Okay. And then addendum 15 to approve an SMOA. Mike, I just have a quick question. When it comes to the voting piece, we vote on the addendum in whole or in pieces?
You can move the entire addendum if you
We can make a motion to approve addendum 14 and then a motion to approve addendum 15.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, after the personnel agenda, we'll have the consent agenda. And then each of the addendums, and then we'll have a proposed executive session, and then we'll adjourn the meeting. May I have a motion for previous minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes of the previous regular meeting held on Monday, March 18, 2013.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have any student or school presentations tonight? Any parent groups? Okay, open to the public. Who would like to speak as a parent group or as open to the public?
It may be a parent group. My name is Kim Lennon. I'm the president of the Roundup PTO. And I have several parents here tonight, along with myself, who are very upset that Cheryl Lazarus has left. And I think we're all looking for answers as to why. We were told it was personal reasons. I'm finding it very hard to believe that she would have left the school. She was devoted to the students, to the parents, and we're looking for some answers. And we're wondering if someone here can tell us what happened and why.
Well, thank you for your kind comments about Mrs. Lazarus. I agree. Very devoted to the students and the parents. I think everybody understands that it's called personnel, and it is personal. And I want to respect Cheryl. She has resigned for personal reasons, and she chooses not to share those. We are not allowed by law to divulge that information any more than I could talk about you personally or your students or anyone. But I can say that Cheryl has endeared herself to the parents and the students and the staff. She did a wonderful job while she's here, and she's going to have our full support in the future, whatever she wishes to undertake. But now she's chosen to, for personal reasons, to resign, and we're going to honor that. I wish that I could speak with that, but that
I wish you could too.
We're not permitted.
I'm sorry. I have a very hard time believing that she just left the school for personal reasons. And I have seen many times decisions that are made and personal reasons tag is put on them when in fact it's something completely different. And I just feel as parents, we really have more of a right to know. We have gone through so many principals in the last 3 years, it's ridiculous. We can't keep the superintendent, we can't keep the principal, and here we have a woman who is just so devoted and so hardworking. And I quite frankly do not believe she just left for personal reasons. I think she was asked to leave. And I truly resent the fact that, again, we're being snowballed. And here you have someone who is willing to work all the hours that they can possibly work, help the PTO raise funds for our students so that they can have extra programs. Anything that was ever asked of her, and beyond that, She was there for us. And I know in my heart that she didn't walk away. I know she was asked to leave in my heart. And you can tell me whatever you want to tell me, and I don't believe it. I truly don't. And I really feel sorry for this district that they get rid of a woman who is this devoted, because you will not find someone like her again. You will not find someone who is truly working for the students and the parents and the district. And that I find is a sad fact.
And if they can't share personal reasons because of contracts and everything else, there does seem to be, my name is Patty Rinaldi, and I have a 5th grader over at Sargent who's supposed to go to the middle school next year. But there is such an overturn with principals and vice principals, and you can't seem to keep somebody in a spot long enough to make a difference, long enough for it to last. So they're always juggled and jumping, and then they're saying that they're going to go back to like a 7th grade thing and not have 6th grade, which is still technically elementary school. And then they're going to be treated like 7th graders, and they were doing it to say that there was a different, that they were making a difference. And none of this seems real. It just seems really, really jumbled. It seems really, really, and you keep changing people. And what are the results that we're getting? And the fighting that is breaking out in the schools is also alarming to me as a parent of any kid, but I have somebody coming over next year. I mean, what are you doing about the fighting or the overturn, or what can be done to get somebody here and keep them here long enough to feel the effects of their job?
I think the sad thing here is that the students are upset. The students are upset because the principal is gone. And we are upset as parents because we feel as though, again, we have no support. And I think we were so spoiled for the last 8 or 9 months because we had someone who truly cared. I would like to see what's going to happen. I would like to see what you're going to offer us. I realize that we do have someone who's going to fill in the spot temporarily. Mr. Romaniano is a wonderful man. He has the years in it as administrator, but still in all, it's not going to be the same. And a week before testing starts, gee, couldn't we have kept her just 2 more weeks? Okay, thank you.
I'm Sophia Quisto. I'm a student at Rondout, and I just want to say that Miss Lazarus, I wish that she would have stayed because she was an awesome principal, and all of the kids liked her, and that's saying something because, to be honest, most kids really don't like their teachers. But this one that we really liked, and we want her back really bad. That's what I have to say.
I think that as you have to start searching for new people, and I want to know what makes it so hard. Clearly Beacon is a great place to be, and clearly the school, at least the school experience that we've had at our elementary level has been fabulous. So why can't that go further and keep people in the places that they need to be to make a difference? And what is it that makes them go all the time? There must be something more than just, everybody can't have a personal reason every second. And that's what it feels like. It feels like every time you turn around, there's somebody new, and then it's mixing up the whole thing, starting from 0 every time. And I think that the fighting is a huge thing also.
Well, we had some altercations today. It's not unusual at the middle school, and I don't. We have a great faculty. We have 2 great assistant principals, and Mr. Romanino down there. So I as a parent, I would not be too alarmed when we do. No one likes the fights, but they've been much reduced in the last couple of years. Absolutely.
Would anyone else like to speak?
Hi, my name is Mary Friss, and I just want to say pretty much the same thing. I just found out today that she was leaving, and I was shocked. I was like, what? I said, we finally got a principal who was like, had such great rapport with the students, the parents, the teachers, everybody loved her, and then boom, she's gone. And I have a question about, like, I mean, if she was let go, I don't know what happened. You say it's personal reasons, I don't know. But if she was let go, or if anyone's let go, isn't there some sort of, don't they give someone some kind of probationary period if they did something that was, you know, not kosher or whatever? I mean, I feel like there's a lack of communication here between the parents and the powers that be. You know, I would like to see more done with respect to that. And, you know, I'm just really disappointed. I'm still in shock that she's gone. And I hope to hell you can find somebody to replace her that's her equal. She was really great. The other thing I have to talk about, not regard on this subject, but with regard to the Newtown shootings, I heard, and I don't know if this has come across to you before, I heard that down in North Carolina, there's a school district that found a way to keep the schools safe without any extra cost to the school district or to the city. And what they did was they took a police officer who had a desk job at the police department, and they just put him into the elementary school. They just transferred his position over to elementary school. And so he was at the elementary school all day long doing a desk job. But he was in the school all day. It was no cost to the district, and it just seemed everybody was, you know, pleased as punch about it. And I thought you might want to consider trying something like that. Or if you thought about it already, I don't know. But anyway, I just want to put that out there. Okay, thanks a lot.
Good evening, everyone. Jan Stark, taxpayer. What a somber night. First, I wanted to be able to compliment all our children that were part of the junior prom this past Friday. I went up to the Knights of Columbus where my granddaughter was, and saw all the kids. They all looked beautiful, and the young men looked so handsome that they really did our parents and community very proud. And I understand it went really well, and they were well behaved, and good time had by all. On another note, as we all know, you know, we're in our means of part of our budget time, and budget affects our community, budget affects our real estate, and turnover affects our real estate also, because that becomes a reflection on our school district. Well, I understand that we won't have any layoffs of teachers. We will have some resignations, and the perhaps not replacing those teachers that are retiring. I would venture to say, without accurate numbers, that probably over the last 10 years or so, we've lost maybe 50 teachers or teaching positions, either through layoffs or attrition. And that affects program. It affects program at the elementary level, where our classes become bigger and more difficult for all of our students to learn and the same learning curve, because the teacher doesn't have as much time to dedicate themselves to those children. It affects our program at the secondary level in particular. I assume you're aware of it, but if you're not, currently the State Education Department is looking at 2 pathways to graduation. One is a career and technical education pathway to graduation, and the other one is a STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics pathway to graduation. In talking about STEM, you know, the key component is technology. One of the key components, obviously, is technology and engineering. And here at the high school, after Mr. Ramsey retired, we no longer have a technology program here at the high school. Yes, I know we have a TV program here at the high school, but as taught by a media specialist and not a certified technology educator. And yes, I do know that there's been quite a conversation at several board meetings, about the arts. And yes, we do live in a community that's becoming much more in tune with the arts. It is still the backbone of our community is our blue-collar Beaconites that have been here for 4, 5, 6, 7 generations worth of people who have made this community what it is. And in order to give our children the opportunity that they so richly deserve for career and college readiness, we need to not just look at how we're going to save money, but how we're going to improve program, improve curriculum in our high school. How are we going to make our students competitive in the fields that they may choose to go into? If we're reducing our number of students that go off to BOCES in their career and technical education programs, they need to have an alternative. There are programs that are out there, whether it be engineering by design that has been created by the International Technology Education Association, Project Lead the Way with their Principles of Engineering, the state programs, World of Technology, and Principles of Engineering that are developed by the New York State Technology Association and State Education. But somewhere along the line, we have to start looking at these types of programs. We have to stop thinking of where we need to be able, where we have to cut money from. Education, as we know, public education as we know it, is rapidly going to come to a Black Monday, where we will no longer be able to recognize what public education is because of financing. Okay, the government did us no favor by limiting us to a 2% tax cap. Okay, that has hurt all communities, not just Beacon, but all communities. It hurts us where we're forced to have a 60% super majority in order to pass something beyond what is the base increase that we're allowed to have. But at some point in time, as members of the Board of Education, you have to have the courage and the wisdom to say, and if you present it in a correct manner to our community, we need to think about program. It's not just thinking about the dollars and cents that we're going to spend or possibly save, but we have to look at program. What is the program going to be that's going to give our children, when they graduate, the best possibilities to get into college or be able to go into a career of their choice so that they can earn a living, come back to Beacon, and be solid contributing members of our community. It's not always the dollars. You have to look at program as well. And it's going to cost a little bit more to have enough program. Then as a Board of Education, you have to have the courage to say to the community, we are looking at program, we can no longer keep cutting staff or not filling retirements because of the savings or money. It's not going to work. We are probably 10 years out from watching public education crash because of the finances that are involved. Thank you.
Good evening, Tracy Alec Everett. I'm a taxpayer and a parent in the district. So I'm just sort of getting the gist about this leave from the middle school, and so am I correct in hearing that Mr. Romanino will be covering, and could you explain a little bit about how that's going to work, and as well as the athletic director duties that I believe he already had, and then a little bit more about some sort of replacement process, as well as an update on the superintendent search, please.
Well, Eric Romanino has been a master at juggling 2 jobs, and he's been doing it here at the high school. We took a vote at the high school, and nobody wanted him to stay, so they sent him to the middle school. It's not truthful. We really appreciate Eric volunteering to help us. To be in the short term, we'll be looking for a long-term acting principal, hopefully someone that we know will apply to that with middle school experience. And from there, the process will continue. I would hope that by the end of the school year, we'll know who the middle school principal might be for July. The superintendent search, you always steal my report, and thanks for that. This coming Monday, on the April 15th, the board will have a special meeting just for the purpose of appointing a new superintendent. You'll finally get someone good. And we're excited about that. I hope all the community come out to give a warm beacon welcome to that person. And because it's contractual, that can't be shared, but it will be obviously celebrated on the 15th. The assistant superintendent, which you and a couple of other people here had asked about before, is that okay if I talk about that?
Please, this is my next question. Nice one.
The ad with the close of applications was this past Friday on the 5th. I think we had 70 some odd applications. We've gone through those, and we have 6 to 8 strong candidates that will begin the screening process. Our plan is to have 2 or 3 finalists, and the administrative group and some of our teachers and staff will have an opportunity to do a focus group and to give us some feedback, and the new superintendent will choose that candidate to be in place for July 1 to assume the duties of assistant superintendent for instruction and personnel. So that's the story with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Mary Fewer. I'm a parent of 2 children at South Avenue School. And I wanted to ask about the 4 positions of the teachers that retired and 3 are not being replaced. Is it possible to know what those positions are?
I don't have them right off the top of my head, but we can have them. I'm glad to share it another time. We can have that at our next regular meeting for you. It's always the best way when we have a tough budget to look at folks, look at enrollments, for instance. Look at our programs, as you well know, Meredith, are changing now based on the state APPR requirements and the regional reform agenda. So we've taken that opportunity to kind of re-engineer and reschedule some things. And this way no one loses their job and the district can save some money. But I'm sorry, I don't have that. I think it would be safe to say that even with the loss of these positions through attrition, that the average elementary class size will not appreciably change, nor the programs in the district.
So are they all at the elementary level?
No, it's mixed, middle school, elementary, but I don't know exactly what positions.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak? Thank you. Mr. Hubbard?
Well, I already given my report. I see the administrators here, and I'd like to thank them publicly for the continued fine work on behalf of our students in the district. It's been pretty incredible this year. It's been a game changer for everybody. and administrators who have to step up to the plate and learn all new things. And Eric Romanino, who he's got big shoulders, and we kid him all the time, but he's one of the people that's been a great role model and embraced the understanding the APPR and helping the other administrators. And that's really appreciated. And we also like to thank the teachers. I see Kim Atwell here. It's amazing all the work that has to be done, and you're doing it. So we're kind of like, I think we have a good start. And I know we have tests coming up. We're all going to do our best. So thank you for that. Just the only thing that I had mentioned was that the tickets are on sale for the Wiz. It's online. Weekend of April 19th. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any board comments tonight? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the personnel agenda?
Motion to approve the personnel agenda.
Second. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. May I have approval? May I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. May I have a motion for addendum 14?
Motion to approve the addendum for personnel, number 14.
Second. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. May I have a motion for addendum 15?
Motion to approve supplemental memorandum of agreement with CSC as slated.
Second. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. May I have a motion for executive session?
Motion for executive session.
Second. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?